Hello everyone, happy 4th of July or July 3rd. I don't know when I'll post this. I am going to be on vacation next week. Thank you to those of you who commented about my previous Onion article about level manager forced to find out who isn't flushing the toilet. I know that you guys aren't too keen on it and it looks like my engagement was down. I am going to switch over to Jean Teasdale. But please be patient because I have limited connectivity. I think when I do Jean Teasdale, I'll probably go in chronological order. The previous articles I've done on her, they're not the first articles. However, they are older. This is the very first Onion article written by Jean Teasdale, and the title is Hubby Rick and I Just Got Vanity Plates. Oh, and this was published on November 19th, 1996. So I was 9. Jean's got some bad news for you. Lady is no more. Longtime readers of my column need not to ask who Lady is. For the benefit of you newcomers, I think my understanding that when I go online to look up the Onion stuff, it only goes back to 30 years. So basically, this article is the very first article I could locate on the web for free. Lady is my 1981 Plymouth Sundance Coupe. For nearly a decade. Lady took me to work, carried my groceries, and most recently accompanied me to Romanticon 96 in Milwaukee. What's Romanticon? I live in Milwaukee. I've never heard of that. Look that up. So it's a celebration of romance and its readers. Lady was no Dodge Viper. Heck, she was no Dodge Dart. But she saw to my transportation needs as reliably as any other vehicle. You'll notice how I refer to her as a person because to me, she really was a good friend. 3 weeks ago, I finally had to give her up. Excuse me. I'm starting to turn into Mr. Turnby. I got reflux. I finally had to give her up because both her transmission and alignment were shot and the repairs would have cost several $100s. I was willing to spend it, but leave it to that old killjoy, Hubby Rick, to put his foot down. The old death trap isn't even worth the sales tax on the repairs, he yelled. Death trap? His Chevy pickup drips more oil than a supertanker. I sure felt like a heel when I left Lady behind at the mechanics. Please forgive me, Lady. I will always treasure all the good times we had, like when we would be cruising on the highway and I would sing along to the oldie station. I think I'm gonna bawl. Anyway, my new car is a 1989 Pontiac Sunfire, which Rick and I bought from one of his coworkers at the tire center for $1,700. I only had $700 in my account, so Rick agreed to cover the rest, and I could pay him back. Rick is your husband. What? Douche. I mean, he is a douche canoe for sure. I'm a divorced woman, and I struggle with depression hardcore, so sometimes I know that this is completely fictional, but sometimes I feel like women struggling with depression are probably the most vulnerable to falling in love with assholes. Now, I can't go into this too much because it'll affect a lot of things in my personal life, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. You are thinking that Hubby Rick has turned over a new leaf? Guess again. Turns out Rick did it only because he decided to retire his pickup for the winter and neglected to tell me. Okay. Although I always forgot to communicate things to my ex-spouse because, I'm ADHD and I forget to do things quickly, but that's neither here nor there. Now he thinks that just because he paid for my new car, he has as much right to drive it as I do. Rick had the gall to dictate to me what the Vanity license plates were going to say. I had made up my mind a long time ago that when I got a new car, I would get Vanity plates that read CHCLIT after my favorite pastime chocolate. No. I'm a chocolate lover too, you guys. It reminds me because I love dark chocolate. A WebMD was saying that people with depression, they crave chocolate because there's serotonin in it. Maybe that's just more internet bullshit. Either way, that's kind of like always in the back of my mind when I try and consume chocolate. But I made the fatal mistake of telling Rick about my plans. No way is our new car going to say chiclet, he hollered. Now, Rick had never given Vanity plates 1 minute of thought in his life, but once I brought it up, he suddenly was ready with a million bad ideas. The first one he came up with was stud, with 3 Ds. Can you see me driving a car with stud on the license plates? Imagine the catcalls I would get. Besides, the only thing studly about Rick is the rivets on his Levi's. Rick's next suggestion was even worse. He wouldn't tell me what BB Fox meant, but I figured it out right away. Ever since high school, he's had the biggest crush on that bimbo actress Barbie Benton. Never mind that she's probably 50 years old by now with boobs that hang down to her belly button. But to hubby Rick, she'll always be that foxy Playboy centerfold. Barbie Benton, I don't even know who that is. So just for fun, I came up with Swayze. And of course, Rick started fuming about what I saw in that transvestite FAG from that Wu Wang Fu flick. Geez, lighten up, Rick. It was only a movie. We continued this charade for the entire afternoon. Rick thought up beer, Colt 45, metal, and fun YCR, all completely ridiculous. I almost liked his CLSF 77, short for a class of 77, but I decided I didn't want people guessing my age from my license plates. And naturally, Rick hated my PREC Mo for precious moments. Oh yeah, she does love her precious moments. There was a previous article I had done about her bringing the Precious Moments Bible to church when her brother Kevin convinced her to go to some Baptist church and the pastor was batshit crazy. So if you haven't seen that article, check it out. And naturally, Rick hated Max and CL, Max and Clementine, my two kitties, and Bolton. So Bolton for the license plate. I was just about ready to throw in the towel and get the normal boring plates when we finally agreed on TESDLE for Teasdale. It was far from what either of us wanted, but I figured it was worth it to preserve marital harmony. Only now, I have to contend with people always asking me what my plates mean. I swear, every time I go to the supermarket or park my car at work, someone makes a comment. At first, it was cute, but now it's annoying. Is it really anyone's business? Okay, well, don't do a personalized vanity plate if you don't want attention. It's like people getting all these tattoos and someone at the checkout line asks you why you got this tattoo and they don't want to explain it every time. Well, why did you get the damn tattoo? Also, if you've been following me long enough, you know that I just don't like tattoos. I mean, I've had times in my life where I'm going through a hardship and I've contemplated getting a tattoo, but I kind of always knew I was going to regret it. That was always my intuitive sense. I'm really glad that I never followed through, just because I don't want a permanent reminder of a temporary emotion. And you know, I'm a very emotionally driven person, more toward the emotional end of my brain. I don't think any of them look good, and this whole business of the sleeve tattoos are also super ugly. But that's all I have for now. Thank you again for your feedback. I'll steer clear of the bathroom humor. Let me know if you like the Gene Teasdale articles, though. The more comments, the better, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.